The Big Daddy Football Corner. Welcome, Bafetu. Once again, I'm back again in this particular time to do a post-match tactical analysis between Orlando Pirates and Ahly, game that ended 2-1 with Orlando Pirates winning that game. And obviously they are first on the log, 14 points. Ahly is 11 points. Maybe before I do that, Buffett, I'd like to say thank you to each and every one of you. The Deep Big Daddy Football Corner page on Facebook has actually reached 1,000. Thank you. I also noticed my video as well, the pre-match analysis of this particular match as well. It's close to 3,000 views now. Again, thank you. Continue again, Bafetu, to follow me on every platform that I'm in, Twitter, Simanga Makhubu, as well as TikTok, and then the Big Daddy Football Corner on YouTube as well as Facebook. Maybe let's dissect the game, Buffett, tactically. But I honestly think that this particular match was dominated by Ahly. In this particular, it was dominated by them. If you look at the stats, ball possession was 60-40, big chance created, it was 4-2, shots on target, it was 6-2. The other interesting thing was the constitution of play. If you look at the constitution of play of Ahly, it was more in the center, and then obviously then on the right hand side, which is Orlando Pirates' right hand side, and it's Ahly left hand side. I don't think that is just a coincidence. I think it was deliberate, them ensuring that they attack all the time using the left hand side in this particular match. Perfect. Let us get in and look at it. But first of all, Jose Rivero doesn't cease to amaze me. I think Orlando Pirates youngsters need to be grateful that they are coached by Coach Jose Rivero, because in this biggest game, Buffett, biggest game in the entire African continent, he introduces a youngster, Siyabonga Ndlozi. He never played hey Buffett, he never played any PSL match. He has never played any Champions League match. He was just at Orbit College, obviously from DDC, and then he went to Orbit College. He's 22 years old. He made his debut in the biggest game in the African continent. We are not worthy. Orlando Pirates, please give Jose an open contract. And then he needs to decide himself how long does he want to play for to coach Orlando Pirates. Yeah, because he is the coach that we need. Now, let's look at my first half observation tactically, Buffett. Personally, in the first half, I was very, very impressed by Orlando Pirates. But what impressed me the most in this game was what they were doing out of possession, right? For me, that was the highlight of the first half. I honestly think the midfield was neat. The midfield was compact. We kept a rigid shape. We did not allow Ahly to go through the midfield. If you look at it, we were pressing with a 4-2-3-1, right? In that particular. But if we look at the central midfielders, the two, Makhubu and Bata, how they were set up when we were pressing, they were set up to defend the second balls, because we all knew that they don't necessarily have patient build-ups. They always want to look at that route one football, where then it will get to one of their strikers, he will drop them, and then they react to the second ball first. And Orlando Pirates were set up in a way that in those zones where that balls will be dropped for the second balls, it was covered. We ensured we covered that particular area. And that for me was very interesting. The other thing that was interesting, since Utito came back after this, everything that has happened, is for him, it is his discipline to always, to stick in front of that back two. Basically in that three-man triangle. He always sitting at the tip of the triangle. I think, tell me in the past games since he came back, tell me games where you consistently have to go back behind those two central midfielders to go and pick up the ball. Instead, he sits in front of him. And for me, that is very, very critical for Orlando Pirates. And since he has done that, I think our midfield has become a little bit tighter because him staying there in front of the tip of the triangle, he provides a defensive solidity. He also ensures that we win a ball, we also have attacking fluidity, in this. So for me, it's defensive solidity as well as attacking fluidity, right? We also assist us to be able to retain the ball in the middle. He also ensures that we build our attack as soon as we get the ball. Also, when we counter press, he's very, very close to the central midfielders so as to have more passing lanes, open passing lanes to progress play. I think him sitting there protects those two central midfielders even better. Also, it helps that you don't have a club that normally puts the clubs will normally have more players into midfield, end up having numerical superiority, and he assists us a lot in this particular game. The other aspect as well that was very interesting for me in the first half was Hoto. I then understood after the first half why Hoto was being played, because of his tactical discipline and what he needed to do for Orlando Pirates. For me, it was very interesting what he was doing out of position, because he was dropping more into midfield, right? Dropping more into midfield. But what the interesting thing is when they were squeezing and compressing the field, right, to reduce the space into midfield, there were even two players that the right back Lebitso was leaving as well as Hoto was leaving, and they were not even interested into those, because they knew when they switch play they were gonna rush into that. But the reason for that is obviously to ensure that they reduce any space in midfield, and that resulted in us being able to mark and win balls into that squeezed area as well as into that compact shape. For me, I was very, very impressed about the part of the game. But the other thing, first thing in a very long time, I saw every Orlando Pirates player behind the ball. And I'm saying big ups to Orlando Pirates club, because that is how you win Champions League. When you lose the ball, nobody's trotting around. Everybody is behind the ball. What happened in the second half? I honestly think the second half was the worst in my view. I did not enjoy the second half at all, because we ended up stopping everything that we did right in the second half. So everything we did good in the first half, in the second half we did not do. Defensively, we lost the shape, we lost the structure, we stopped getting everyone behind the ball, until probably the 80th minute. And I think from 80 to 90, it's where I started us picking up, because it's where we had Rasebocha, we had Gilberto into the game. I felt at that time we look a little bit lively. We were buzzing. I think Rasebocha in that cameo run, I think he played brilliantly. There was that combination play. We gained momentum. And we defended the ball, which is what is Orlando Pirates' strength, to be able to play with the ball. And for me, I was very, very impressed by that. But then the last thing, which I know it's likely to cause a lot of controversy, I'm still waiting for Jose to be very brave. Because, guys, I honestly think Makgopa, and I'm not putting shade into this thing, guys, I think Makgopa should be converted into a center back. I think, honestly, he could be an incredible center back. The height that he has will be an advantage. The physical conditioning that he has, he will be good in terms of defending set pieces. Also, the speed that he will possesses at the back. Hear me out, guys. Hear me out. Go and research, Mafeto. Mark Fish, when he came to Jomo Cosmos, he was a striker. He was converted by Ujomo Sono, and then he played as a striker. But he ended up being the best defender in South Africa. We ended up shipping him to EPL. That just shows. But that person was a striker. Remember Gerard Piqué? He's regarded as one of the best center backs in the world. He started as a striker, and then he was converted into a center back. And I'm not really putting shade into this, Mafeto. Remember Patrick Mayo, when he was converted from a striker into a center back. Guys, think about it. I think Makgopa will be an incredible center back. Away, yeah. Mapagania aye.